All right, folks, we are back. We're on the line with Anita in Texas. Anita, what else you want to say?
Okay, I've been trying to get a hold of Alex to ask him this question because his dad's a dentist, and I was wondering about those shots that the dentists give. If they're safe, if they have squalene, mercury, that mess in there.
No, you're talking about the Novocaine shots, right? I'm pretty sure that those are just Novocaine. I don't think there's any mercury in there, but hey, I'm not an expert. I'll ask Alex, and I'll try to give you an answer next week. I'll try to get at me on Facebook or MySpace or email me, and I'll try to get back to that answer because I don't know, but I would assume that that's just a Novocaine shot. Liquid Novocaine, I don't think has the mercury preservative in it, but don't quote me on that. What else you got, Anita?
Okay, and I have noticed, I don't know if you or anybody else that you've talked to has noticed there's so many new schools being built in so many little towns everywhere, and I'm wondering if they're like going to be quarantine facilities or something.
Well, schools traditionally have been makeshift nuclear fallout centers and community centers in the case of an attack, so I don't think that you're going too far saying that maybe this is going to be the new type of FEMA camp, but at the same time, I don't know. I mean, they're using the schools right now as the mass vaccination centers. They want your kids first, they want pregnant women second, and then they want the parents after that. And the people that they can't get through that program, in other countries anyway, in places like Sweden and Canada, they're just going to set up makeshift vaccination centers outside of bars and popular strips so they can get people while they're inebriated. I don't know why they're building all these schools. To me, a lot of schools are getting cut out in my neck of the woods, at least in New York. A lot of teachers' jobs are getting cut. A lot of the programs are getting cut. Over the past 5 or 10 years, I've seen some consolidations of school districts where they actually knock down a couple schools and build a super school. So I'm not sure. I thank you for the call, Anita. Let's go to Anthony in Missouri. Anthony, you're online.
How you doing, Jason? I saw on C-SPAN one night, I was just watching it, and they have House Resolution 317, where, wait a second, it says, whereas the Department of Homeland Security selected Manhattan, Kansas as the future location for the National Bio and Agro Defense Facility. I don't know, I was just saying if you guys see anything in it. I don't know.
I don't know enough about the bill. I do know that they have that island right off of Manhattan where they do a lot of this bioexperimentation with animals. What is it called? Do you know offhand, Craig? You have no idea, huh? I'm asking. Man, sometimes I kind of blank out and I can't think off the top of my head, but they have an island right off of, what is it called? Well, anyway, they do all these weird experiments there. They study foot and mouth and all these other kind of diseases there, so it wouldn't really surprised me that they would put that facility in Manhattan. What worried me was that they were looking to take the facility that I'm talking about and move it into the Midwest and around populations. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to check it out. Send us some information on the bill and tell us where the highlighted sections are, and I'll try to get back to you, Anthony. I appreciate the call. Michael in New York. Michael, you're on the line.
Hi, Jason. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
Okay, I'm going to try and be quick. I just, one thing, I wanted to, out into the middle of New York, and I wanted to make some speeches that I've been writing myself. Nothing too crazy. I wanted to just start waking people up and just, because really what's got to happen is something's got to happen soon, or, things are going to get a lot worse, a lot quicker. I wanted to just talk about, if I was to go out in the middle of the streets with a megaphone, but it has to be a public place, obviously.
Yes.
But is it legal to do that, first of all? If I find a public
place...
They
may be able to get you with a noise permit if you use an actual bullhorn. However, if you use... I know on 9/11 this year, a lot of people were using those big tubes. You know which one? They're not electric. Those aren't illegal. You can use those. If you use a megaphone or a bullhorn, they may come up to you and ask you if you have a permit. You are going to want to be sticking to public areas such as parks, sidewalks, not private areas such as parking lots and the like that. They can throw you out of there. Other than that, you do have free speech, sir. If you're not disturbing the peace.
I'm going to exercise it. And this, what's going on, I'm new to all this, but, I'm really trying to take...
What part of New York are you in, Michael?
I live in Long Island, but, I'm back and forth between the city and Long Island.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, it's a big place out there. We Are Change has a great organization. I'm sure they would openly accept you in. You can go to wearechange.org, and Luke Rudowski and others just, they really know the rules. They really know the law. I know there's a bunch of 9/11 truthers out in Long Island as well. I know through the colleges and the state schools that there's a large 9/11 truth movement, a lot of people that are hip to loose change and fabled enemies, but there are a lot of people out there that aren't. So, not only is your voice, an effective tool, I really tell people, hit the DVD burner. Make 100, make 1,000, make 10,000 copies of our movies. Talk to somebody and try to relate to them.
While I'm out there, I was going to have a stand of multiple stuff that I've gotten through the web. And I'm just going to, leave it out there. I'm going to burn them on my own time and stuff like that. No charge or anything like that. Just take them, flyers, things like that.
Well, Michael, that's how I got started, man. I mean, I did the same exact thing. And I would go to parties with these things. I would hit street corners with these things. I would be on a bus ride to work.
With people, I'm sort of a loner throughout my whole life, but I feel more comfortable, in sort of like speaking to the public than if I was hanging out with like a few guys or whatever at a party. That's just the way I am. But the second thing is really to my second point is that I am just one person. I'm just one voice of many. And the Jordan Maxwells, the David Ikes, Michael Tessari, Jim Moss, all these people out there talking, and you see a lot of stuff with like Closure and Project Camelot coming out, and they're all more or less on the fringe of, let's say, of what you guys more or less concentrate on. But the problem is like a lot of the people are many voices all speaking about different things, but it's trying to get the message out as a whole so people understand it. Because if you got 1 million people yelling at once about, secrecy and various different forms of government and whatever the case may be, it gets lost in confusion. And I'm trying to figure out a way.
Well, let me comment on that because, those guys, and I thank you for the call, Michael. I've watched lectures on all the individuals you just spoke about. I've actually met Jim Mars. I've had him in studio with me. I really enjoy Jordan Maxwell's material. I think Michael Sarian does a great job of going into some of the esoteric stuff. But like you just said, a lot of that stuff is on the fringe. And I do think in many cases it's sort of counterproductive. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't have a pursuit of knowledge. I'm thankful for those people. I'm glad that we have alternatives to the alternative and people putting out information that perhaps Infowars doesn't concentrate on. But when you're trying to change the political paradigm, when you're trying to awaken people to the tyranny of the Federal Reserve banking system, when you're trying to point out MK Ultra, Project Paperclip, 9/11 as a false flag, I feel like you really want to stick to the facts. And a lot of these esoteric notions and language play and, things on Atlantis, they just go too far beyond the pale, and they're really a person's interpretation of someone else's texts. So I try to, I'll get into the esoteric stuff a little bit. You'll see a little bit of it in Invisible Empire, but for the most part, I'm trying to stick to the facts. I mean, this one's out of, is this out of New York? But it is out of New York. It's out of NBC New York, but it's a story out of California. If you dial and then change your mind, the city of Vallejo, California will soon charge you $200. This is a 911 call. Admittedly, the city is strapped for cash. Yeah, I mean, this is what's important. I mean, you're going to get charged $200 if you mistakenly call 911 now. And to me, what's important is that, we're about to announce that the dollar is totally and completely collapsed. It will no longer be the world reserve currency. And by the way,
killed
China. Well, not only does the UN want it, our president is about to be...
Everybody wants to see it done. I mean, it's a conspiracy global.
It is a global conspiracy. Michael, I thank you for the call. But, I mean, when you have a president coming in and saying, yes, I'm going to head up the United Nations Security Council. I'm doing it. I'm doing it big. And it's at the same exact point that they're going to the G20. They're going to announce the green economy. They're going to announce the collapse of the dollar. And everybody's going to be buddying up. And remember, they're going to present it to you in a light that's positive, in a light that's saving the world and good for humanity. But meanwhile, they ratchet up the police state with dialing 911, $200. $200. And this really dovetails with something that Alex hit on in the previous program. New government policy imposes strict standards on garage sales nationwide. Americans who slap $1 price tags on their used possessions. Let me repeat that, because I think I should say that pretty slow for people. Americans who slap $1 price tags, that's $1, that's 4 quarters, that's chicken scratch, folks, on their used possessions at garage sales or bazaar events, because there are those out there that go to things like Brimfield and, sell antiques and other, types of things like flea markets, or, for instance, risk being slapped with fines of up to $15 million.